Your body is generating energy right now that you have no idea how to use. Every second, a current runs through you with enough force to reshape your health, your emotions, and the circumstances of your life. And the reason most people walk around feeling drained, scattered, and stuck is that this energy has nowhere to go. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly where that energy collects, how it gets distributed, and what happens when you learn to direct it consciously. Charles Haanel wrote the Master Key System in 1912 as a 24-week correspondence course. Each week built on the last, and when he arrived at the subject of personal power, he didn't start with the mind, he started with the body. Specifically, with a cluster of nerves located right behind your stomach, radiating outward like rays from a center point, the solar plexus. Haanel called it the sun of the body. The name itself tells you something. Solar, sol, sun. Every organ, every function, every cell in your body receives its animating energy from this single center. The way the sun sustains every planet in its system, without discrimination, the solar plexus sustains every part of you. When it's functioning well, energy flows freely. You feel alive, magnetic, capable of things you can't quite explain. When it contracts, everything contracts with it. You felt this. Think about the last time you received terrible news. Where did you feel it? Your chest tightened, sure. But the real hit landed in your gut. That sinking sensation, that hollow collapse behind your navel, that was your solar plexus shutting down in real time. And in that moment, your entire body dimmed, your thinking became foggy, your limbs felt heavy, your voice lost its certainty. One center affected everything. Now think about the opposite. A moment of genuine confidence. A morning where you woke up and something just felt right. Your posture changed without effort. Words came easily. People responded to you differently, though nothing visible had changed about you. That was uninterrupted flow from the solar plexus outward. Haanel would say you were radiating. The distinction matters because most people treat energy like a resource they need to acquire. They drink coffee, they search for motivation, they wait for external circumstances to charge them up. Haanel's framework flips this entirely. You are already generating the energy, constantly. The problem was never supply. The problem is distribution. Picture a power station that generates electricity 24 hours a day. The turbines spin, the current flows, but somewhere between the station and the city, the lines are damaged. Whole neighborhoods go dark. The station hasn't failed. The transmission has. Your solar plexus is that station. And your fears, your anxieties, your habitual tension, those are the damaged lines. Haanel was precise about the mechanism of interruption. He said that when you allow fear, worry, or anxiety to dominate your mental state, the solar plexus contracts. Physically contracts, and when it contracts, the flow of energy to every part of you reduces. Your digestion slows, your immune response weakens, your thinking narrows to survival mode. A single emotional habit, sustained long enough, can starve your own body of the energy it produces. So how do you reverse this? Haanel's instruction was deceptively simple. You sit in stillness, you consciously relax every muscle group, starting from the extremities and moving inward. And then you hold your attention on the solar plexus itself. You breathe into it, you release the contraction. Week after week, this practice trains the center to remain open, even when external circumstances press against it. The skeptic in you might ask whether sitting quietly and breathing into your stomach actually changes anything measurable. Fair question. Consider what happens physiologically when that region relaxes. Blood flow to the digestive organs increases. Nutrient absorption improves. The vagus nerve, which runs directly through that area, shifts your entire system from a stress state into a recovery state. Haanel didn't have the vocabulary of modern physiology. He had something sharper, direct observation of cause and effect in the body, refined across years of practice. But the physical benefits are only the first layer. Haanel's real interest was in what happens when the solar plexus remains open and radiating over sustained periods. He described a quality that begins to emanate from a person whose energy center is unobstructed. Other people feel it before a word is spoken. Runes shift when this person enters. Opportunities appear with unusual frequency. Haanel didn't attribute this to magic. He attributed it to the simple physics of radiation. A center that radiates will inevitably contact and influence everything within its range. This is where most readers of the Master Key system either lean in or pull back. The idea that your internal energy state directly influences your external circumstances challenges every materialist assumption you've absorbed. And yet you've experienced it. You've met someone whose presence felt like standing near a fire, warm, steady, drawing you in without effort. And you've met people who felt like a draft through a cracked window. Same species, same biology, completely different effect on every room they enter. The difference, according to Haanel, lives in one place: the habitual state of the solar plexus, open or closed, radiating or contracting, and that state is determined entirely by the quality of your thoughts. This creates a feedback loop that either builds or destroys. Anxious thoughts cause contraction. Contraction reduces energy flow. Reduced energy flow produces fatigue, brain fog, and emotional flatness. That flatness generates more anxious thoughts. The spiral tightens, each rotation feels more permanent than the last. After months or years, you forget there was ever another way to feel. You assume this is just who you are. Breaking the loop requires intervention at the level of the solar plexus itself. Haanel didn't say think positive. He said sit down, get still, and physically open the center that your habitual thinking has closed. The body leads, the mind follows. Once energy begins flowing freely again, the thoughts that cause the contraction lose their grip. They haven't been argued away or rationalized. They've been starved of the tension that sustained them. There's a practice embedded in weeks 3 and 4 of the Master Key system that most readers skim past. Haanel instructs you to sit in your chosen position, achieve complete physical stillness, and then mentally inhabit the solar plexus. Feel its warmth. Feel it expanding. Hold this awareness for 15 to 20 minutes without interruption. The first few attempts will feel like nothing. Your mind will wander to your to-do list within seconds. That wandering is the same pattern that keeps the plexus contracted. Every time you bring your attention back, you're training a new default. After weeks of consistent practice, something shifts. The warmth becomes palpable. You can feel it spreading through your torso, into your limbs, up through your chest. Haanel described this as the moment when conscious distribution begins. You're no longer leaking energy through unconscious tension. You're directing it, deliberately, towards specific organs, specific functions, specific intentions. This is the piece that elevates Haanel's work beyond a breathing exercise. The solar plexus, once activated and held open through disciplined practice, becomes responsive to conscious direction. You can send energy toward healing, toward mental clarity, toward the sustained emotional state that corresponds to the reality you intend to create. The body becomes an instrument you play rather than a machine that runs on autopilot. The implications reach into every area of life. Haanel connected the state of the solar plexus to financial conditions, to relationships, to creative output. Each of these domains responds to the quality and quantity of energy you bring. A contracted solar plexus produces a contracted life, tight finances, guarded relationships, creative blocks that feel like walls. An open, radiating solar plexus produces expansion along every axis simultaneously because the energy flowing through you touches everything you touch. One objection deserves honest attention. If this is so straightforward, why does anyone stay stuck? Because the practice requires consistency that most people abandon within days. Sitting in stillness for 20 minutes, bringing attention back to the solar plexus over and over, doing this daily for weeks before any tangible shift occurs. This is the unglamorous work of self-mastery. Haanel knew most of his students would quit. He structured the course in weekly installments precisely to slow people down, to prevent them from reading ahead and mistaking intellectual understanding for embodied practice. The solar plexus responds to patience the way soil responds to steady rain. A downpour runs off. Consistent moisture transforms the ground. You can't force this center open through intensity. You coax it open through repetition. Day after day, the same chair, the same stillness, the same gentle attention returning to the warmth behind your navel. And then one morning, you'll notice something. You'll walk into a situation that used to trigger contraction, a difficult conversation, a financial pressure, an old fear, and your center will hold. The warmth will stay. Your voice will remain steady. Your thinking will stay clear. That moment is worth every minute you spent sitting in silence wondering if anything was happening. Haanel left one instruction that most readers forget. He said to guard the solar plexus, the way you'd guard a physical wound. Every thought of fear, every indulgence in worry, every catastrophic scenario you rehearse in your mind, each one is a hand pressing down on the center, forcing it closed. Guarding it means choosing, moment by moment, to refuse thoughts that contract and to dwell in thoughts that expand. The mental diet and the solar plexus practice are the same discipline seen from two angles. Your body is already producing everything you need. The current is already flowing. The only question that matters is whether you'll sit down long enough to open the channel and stay disciplined enough to keep it open once life presses against it. The sun in your body has been shining this entire time. Every cold, dim room in your life is waiting for you to stop blocking the light.